Hi, welcome to English 114 Online. This is our next to the last week, and I have two assignments for you to submit this week. One is your written proposal, which you've been working on all along, or I hope you've been working on it. The same one that you did your outline on, and the same one that you will be doing a PowerPoint or a video on. But first, you have the written assignment. The written assignment requires you to put it into either memo format or business letter format, and it really depends on whom you are writing to. If you are writing to someone that you work for or in the same company, then you would put it in memo format. If you're writing to someone who you do not work for, even if it's someone at your child's school or someone in your church or someone on the city council, whatever it may be, you use a formal business letter format for that. So decide who is going to make the decision on your proposal and address your report to that person. The other thing I want to remind you of is that in your report, you must have at least one expert that you have interviewed. Either it can be in person, it can be a telephone interview, or it can be a face-to-face interview, or it can be an email interview. I think I covered all kinds. But you have to talk with someone that's going to give you valuable information that you can add to your report. Now, it might be someone that is giving you information about the cost of materials or a cost of a product. It could be someone that is just giving you some ideas about the procedure that you need to go through next after you complete this step. But it needs to be someone who can give you information that is valuable to and adds to the value of the report. And don't forget to cite the source within the text by the last name or of the person that you interview, and also create a works cited page where you list it there. I gave you a sample of that in the assignment, so you can look at how it's done in two different samples, and also in the assignment itself, it shows you how to do that. So it's not a hard thing to do, but points will be taken off if you don't do it that way. So that's something very important. It's not just your idea, it's your idea backed up by some expert information that you've gotten. Also, in addition to that, you need to have a graphic in your report, in your written report. Now, I'm also going to have you do a PowerPoint presentation, but you can't put a PowerPoint presentation in a business letter or in a memo. That's going to have a separate graphic. So it can be a table or it can be any kind of figure. And I've given you two samples, one in a business letter format, one in a memo format, and I've also given you a sample of putting in figures and a sample of putting in tables. Don't forget to introduce it with text before you put it into your report, and tables are labeled over the top with a number and a title, and figures, which is anything that's not a table, anything that's not organized in columns and rows, is labeled underneath with a number and a title, and we call those figures. So if it's a photograph that you took and saved as a JPEG file and inserted it into your document, that is a figure and is labeled underneath. It would be like figure 1, hole in the road that needs to be fixed, whatever it is that you have taken the picture of. So you do need to have a graphic in there. Just follow the format. Go back through, read the assignments again if you need to, look at the models that I've given you, and there shouldn't be any problem with getting your written report done. Once you've done your written report, you need to submit it on the Moodle page, on the link there for you to turn it in. And and that's the first part of the assignment for the week. I'm hoping that most of you already have that done. The the other thing that you will have done is the PowerPoint presentation. Now, in my face-to-face classes, I ask my students to give oral presentations, and they use a PowerPoint as a graphic that backs up what they're saying to the class. And you won't be able to do that because ours is not a face-to-face class. So you need to have your PowerPoint have some notes on it or enough information on the slides that that it explains everything that you would say in a face-to-face oral presentation. If it's not on, if it's too much to put on the slide, then there is a place for you to create a note at the bottom. And if there is too much information, otherwise, you can, if there's not too much information, you can put it right on the slide itself. This does not have to be complicated or long. I would like to see a slide for your problem, explaining what your problem is, a slide for your solution, explaining what that is, probably a slide for cost, and a slide for anything that is the graphic that you used in your report would make a good slide too. And anything that you need to say about explaining the graph, you would need to add a note. The other thing that you can do with your PowerPoint is instead of including a written note for each slide, you can do a voiceover. It's really simple with PowerPoint. All you have to do is click on the slide presentation and then click film or video the slide presentation, and you will be able to view each slide and talk. It will record your voice as you talk through each slide. The other thing that you can do is that you can make a video like I'm making for you right now. They're really easy to do. I know I'm just making mine with Microsoft Movie Maker, and then I download it to YouTube, and then when it's downloaded to YouTube, I get a link that I can share it, and so you can embed it in the forum for the PowerPoints, or you can just put a link to it so that that will take us to the YouTube page to look at it. And that's just one way that you can do it. There are other ways that you can make videos, but please do one or the other of those. So there are two assignments: the written report, and then there's the video presentation, either PowerPoint or a movie that you choose to make. Either way, I look forward to seeing the presentations and grading them. And I apologize for my dog barking in the background, but hey, she lives with me, and this is what we go through half the time. So have a good week. Make sure you get both of your assignments turned in by Sunday night. After you put your PowerPoint in the forum, go back and view another student's PowerPoint and make a substantial comment on it, because I'd like to have a little discussion going on with more comments than just my comments. Have a great week, and I will talk to you next week.